You see him all the time. The charismatic guy, the life of the party, the man who seems overflowing with unshakable self-confidence, the classic narcissist. You might envy him. You might be intimidated by him. You might even for a moment think he is the very epitome of a powerful, dominant, alpha male. And you would be catastrophically, profoundly wrong. What if I told you that most narcissistic behavior is not in fact a symptom of genuine strength, but a desperate, elaborate, and ultimately pathetic mask for profound, crippling weakness? What if all that bravado, all that arrogance, all that self-aggrandizement is just a fragile, paper-thin shell protecting a terrified, insecure inner child? Today I am giving you psychological X-ray vision. I am revealing 7 signs of a deeply weak man that are deceptively, skillfully disguised as narcissistic strength. For men watching, this is a critical guide to building real, authentic power, not a fragile, hollow facade. For women watching, this is your ultimate vetting tool to see through the charismatic BS and protect your heart. And pay close attention, because sign number 6 is a behavior that society often praises as generous. But it is, in fact, the most insidious, manipulative tactic of them all. This is the truth behind the mask. To understand these signs, you must first grasp the fundamental, game-changing oak tree versus the inflatable man principle. The oak tree represents authentic masculine strength. It is solid, it is deeply rooted, it is quiet, and it is unmovable. It does not need to announce its strength. Its very powerful presence is proof enough. It is not affected by the shifting winds of external opinion or criticism. Its validation is internal. It is. The inflatable man, on the other hand, represents the weak man with a narcissistic mask. He is big, he is loud, he is colorful, and he desperately, constantly demands all of the attention. But he is filled with nothing but hot air. The slightest pinprick of criticism, of reality, of being ignored, will cause him to instantly collapse into a pathetic, flaccid, empty heap. The 7 signs we are about to dissect are all the loud, desperate behaviors of the inflatable man, who is frantically trying to convince the world and himself that he is an oak tree. Learn to see the difference between the noise and the silence, and you will never be fooled again. Sign number 1, arrogance and grandiosity, the loudest man in the room. What it looks like, the strength, unshakable confidence, constantly bragging about his accomplishments, his possessions, his intelligence, acting superior to everyone else. The hidden weakness. This is not real confidence. It is a desperate, pathetic compensation for a deep-seated, gnawing inferiority complex. A truly confident man, the oak tree, is quiet, is humble. He doesn't need to announce his own value. He knows it, and he lets others discover it. The inflatable man must constantly shout his own praises because, deep down, he believes he has no real value to be discovered. Sign number 2, a desperate need to be the constant center of attention. What it looks like, being loud, the life of the party, dominating every conversation, always needing the spotlight on him. The hidden weakness. This is validation vampirism. His fragile ego is an empty bucket with a massive hole in it, and he needs the constant, endless drip of external attention, admiration, and validation just to feel okay. Just to feel real. A truly strong man is comfortable being a quiet, powerful observer. He doesn't need the spotlight, he is the light. Sign number 3, an extreme, violent inability to handle any criticism. What it looks like, unwavering conviction, having thick skin, brushing off all negative feedback as haters. The hidden weakness. It is not thick skin, it is an eggshell-thin ego. Any form of criticism, even the most gentle, constructive feedback, is perceived by his psyche as a catastrophic narcissistic injury, a profound threat that could collapse his entire false self. This leads to defensive rage, blame shifting, or vicious gaslighting. A strong oak tree can withstand the wind and even grow stronger from it. The inflatable man fears even the smallest pin. Sign number 4, a chronic, unyielding inability to take responsibility. Perpetual blame shifting, what it looks like. Having impossibly high standards, never being at fault, always being the victim of others' incompetence. The hidden weakness. This is a clear sign of a weak, profoundly childish psyche. Taking radical responsibility for one's life is an act of supreme power and ownership. The weak man's fragile ego cannot possibly admit fault, so he must always, without fail, project the blame onto others. His exes were all crazy. His boss is an idiot. You are too sensitive. It is never, ever his fault. A true king takes ultimate responsibility for his entire kingdom, its successes and its failures. Sign number 5, controlling behavior and pathological jealousy. What it looks like: being protective, being passionate, caring deeply and intensely about where you are, who you're with, what you're doing. The hidden weakness. This is not strength. It is a profound, terrifying fear of abandonment and a desperate lack of control. He needs to control your environment, your relationships, your very thoughts, because he is terrified that if you are exposed to other options, to a different reality, you will inevitably realize that he is not the best one. A truly confident, strong man is not threatened. He trusts you, and more importantly, he trusts his own unshakable value. He is not afraid of competition. Sign number 6, excessive generosity and aggressive love bombing, the most insidious trap. What it looks like: the perfect, charming gentleman. He showers you with gifts, with praise, with intense, overwhelming affection, very, very early on. He seems incredibly, unbelievably generous and loving. The hidden weakness. This is the most insidious, most dangerous sign of all. This is not generosity, it is transactional manipulation. He is giving you this overwhelming affection, not out of love, but to make you feel psychologically indebted to him, to get you addicted to the intense high of his validation. Once he senses that you are hooked, he can then pull it all away to control you, to punish you, to make you chase him. It is a sophisticated tactic to create dependency, born from a deep, profound fear that his authentic, real self is not enough to keep you. Sign number 7, constant, unrelenting competitiveness and one-upping. What it looks like: being driven, being ambitious, being a winner in every single interaction. The hidden weakness. There is a vast difference between competing with yourself to be better and needing to compete with everyone else around you to feel better. The weak man with a narcissistic mask is constantly, pathologically comparing himself to others. He has to have the better story, the better car, the better job, the last word. His entire sense of worth is purely relative, dependent on his perceived superiority over others. A truly strong man competes only with who he was yesterday. So what is the common, powerful antidote to all 7 of these fatal signs of weakness? It is the slow, the difficult, the often painful, but ultimately the only rewarding work there is: building an authentic, unshakable, internal frame. It is about finding your validation within, from your own actions, your own integrity, your own adherence to your own code. It is about developing a powerful, compelling mission that is more important than anyone else's opinion of you. It is about taking radical, unyielding responsibility for your life, your emotions, your outcomes. It is about building a sense of self so solid, so real, so rooted, that you no longer need the loud, flashy, fragile, desperate performance of the inflatable man. Authentic, masculine strength is quiet. It is calm. It is unneeding. It is powerful. And it is the only thing that a high-quality woman, and indeed the world, will ever truly, deeply respect. Stop performing and start building. The 7 signs of a deeply weak man, often disguised as narcissistic strength, from the poison of arrogance in the addiction to attention, to the trap of love bombing and the sickness of blame shifting. You now possess the X-ray vision. You can now see the truth behind the mask. This, gentleman, requires brutal, unflinching self-honesty. In the comments section below, I want you to make the unshakable man's vow. I want you to tell me, which of these 7 inflatable man behaviors have you, in the past, relied on to compensate for your own insecurity? And what is one action you will take this week to begin building real, authentic, oak tree strength in its place? Let's own our past to build a stronger future together. If this video holds the hard, uncomfortable, but ultimately liberating truth that could help a friend stop posturing and start building real, authentic strength, or could help someone you know spot the signs of a truly weak man, share it. Let's build more oak trees and fewer inflatable men. To continue your journey of ruthlessly dissecting the psychology of power, attraction, and authentic strength, make sure you have absolutely obliterated that subscribe button and have activated all notifications. Your journey to becoming unshakable, to becoming an oak tree, continues with every video. Be strong, be real, be the oak tree.